Going to the Travelers Championship, Keegan Bradley is your winner. 23 under. He went psycho. He shot a 63, 64, and a 65, I think, or was it a 62, 63, 64? Let's see. Yeah, it was 62, 63, 64. He was leading by what, 5 shots heading into Sunday, and he still shot 2 under to seal the deal. So yeah, Keegan just took over. Hey, it's Northeast Golf Course. We talked about that. I know a lot of people think that's kind of a dumb narrative, but the results are there. Like, that's the weird thing. Like, some people scoff at some of these weird trends or weird narratives. Like, well, if it continues to happen, why wouldn't you continue to spread it or continue to do it? So Keegan won. Zach Blair is probably the most interesting person up on this leaderboard. Like, this guy came out of nowhere. We did talk about Minwoo Lee in the strategy video because we talked about some 7K golfers that were worth considering. I'll kind of touch on that a little bit, but I kind of suggest you guys go watch that strategy video and get to the 7K range, because it transpired kind of the way we wanted to. Minwoo was one of the guys. We really didn't talk about Corey. I know some people are on Denny, and I kind of talked people off of Denny. Denny was actually in one of the 7K builds. Here, I'll show it to you really quick, just really quick. So for Denny, what I had saw was, okay, he had a missed cut the year before and a top 20 the week before. So when you scroll through all the other 7K golfers, where else do you see that? I believe, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter what the salary is, like, because there was Keegan Bradley down here. I can't remember. I'm not going to waste your time. Like I said, I want to kind of fly through this. It's like, yeah, okay, Harmon finished 5th. He was in that bucket. Oh man, I swear there were 7K golfers that I could remember. I guess not. Anyways, I would suggest go watch that, because I know we talked about missed cuts from the year before and top 20s from the week before. And Denny was in that bucket. I just thought that wasn't a good golf course for him, but the guy's kind of proven to be a little bit more elite than what meets the eye, basically. So anyways, I'm not going to talk too much about that. What I really want to get down to is the bucket system. How did the bucket system perform last week? Basically, you want to look at this column here. These are the successes, is whether or not the bucket was successful. And basically, how I determine if the bucket was successful was I look at how many golfers finished inside the top 10, and then I look at the projections that I had. So for this very first bucket last year, 1, you can see the projection was 1 to 3. Remember, we always round down with the minimum projection. We always round up with the max projection. So 1 for min, 3 for max. Obviously, how many top 10s? There were 6. So if this number falls outside of this range, 1 to 3, then I would actually look at the optimal lineup. How many optimal lineup golfers did that bucket produce? Well, there was 5. So that still falls outside the range. That means the bucket was not successful. Now, I still create a sweet spot optimal following the rules that are set forth with the projections. That is also going to be on the optimizer. I have that all written in right here, and I follow it 100%. Like, I don't stray away from it. I want to continue to build lineups using the sweet spot process. You know, obviously to prove that it works, but also because I don't know a better system. I don't know a better process. So I'm going to continue doing it my way, which I think that not so much the result. I mean, I've won 1 GPP this year, and it was in the quarter arcade, so it wasn't like I won a lot of money, but I've been doing really well this year. The bucket system itself is over 93% successful every single week. So when we look at this, you can see how many buckets were successful for the Travelers Championship. Yes, no for the last year ones. But again, I built a Sweet Spot Optimal. So that Sweet Spot Optimal, I will show you how well it performed against the GPP winner. And if the Sweet Spot Optimal beats a GPP winner, then the whole process was successful for the week. I mean, I guess if anyone wants to object to that, let me know in the chat. I mean, that's how I kind of view success, is if we can take down a GPP, that's a consolation prize for aiming for the optimal, right? I mean, for most of us, that is the goal, is to win a GPP. So, but yeah, if you aim for the optimal, you might miss and hit a GPP instead. That's kind of the tagline here. So basically, I have 2 unsuccessful buckets. If I scroll down, you're going to see a third one. But here's what I don't include in this, and I could update the formula. It's more work than what needs to happen. You can see the projection here is 0 to 1, but remember there's always a 2-point buffer. So guess what? There were 2 golfers in the top 10, 2 in the optimal lineup, 1 in the sweet spot optimal. So therefore it did work out. That bucket was successful. So if you're keeping track at home, that's 34 to 36 buckets. I believe that's a 95% success rate, somewhere up there, 94 point something. We round up to 95, or maybe it's better. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. So that was successful. Now I'm going to go into the Marquee Tee Times for the week, and then we're going to go and review the optimal and the GPP, as well as the sweet spot optimal, because I think that's probably the best way to do it, honestly. So if you follow along with the strategy videos, and I will be talking about that in this video as well, basically the Marquee Tee Times are the best groups based off the sweet spot score that are in the field. And obviously I am looking at every group. So it goes by every 3 golfers. So as I highlight these, the rule that I have is you select 2 to 4 of these groups and you find 1 golfer to put in your lineup from those groups. That's it. We don't pair golfers up that are playing together. We don't want to build lineups around guys that are paired together. Has that been in the optimal lineup before? Yes. Has that been in the GPP winning lineup before? Yes. But the numbers are not on your side. If you were to do that, if you were to pair up golfers in your lineups that are golfing Thursday, Friday together, you have an opportunity to hit the optimal only 10% of the time or less. It's less than 10% of the time. So why wouldn't you just do the opposite? Because you would have a 90% chance just not to fail off out of the gate. And I'll create a video for this explaining and showing the proof with it. The priority for me is building my website. So I have so many video ideas that I want to get out there, but it's all about building optimal or building the website. And I'm working on the strokes gain portion of it. So I actually got some access to some strokes gain stats that I get to download. My strokes gain stats only went back to like 2020, 2021. Now I have strokes gain that goes back to 2017, and actually has some other data that goes with it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just started downloading all the files. I will be putting that into its own table that I can then put into my website. So that's kind of the missing piece. Once that is all done, I will start creating reports to put on the website, and then you guys can use it, or I'll have some people back test it before actually going out there and using it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, the rule is 2 to 4 golfers. Well, you can already see the optimal lineup golfers. They're the little black tick marks here. That's Rory McIlroy, Patrick Cantlay, and Keegan Bradley. There's 3, only 3, and they weren't playing together. You can see the GPP win lineup are these golfers highlighted in blue. Excuse me. They didn't play together. And then we also have the sweet spot optimal, which are highlighted by the greens here. They didn't play together. So 2 to 4, we have 3. So the Marquee Tee Times were successful. The last missing piece, just to give the sweet spot process 100% success rate, is to see if the sweet spot optimal takes down the GPP winner. Before we get into that, I just want to review the optimal, which left $600 on the table, and that used a 10K golfer. 7, 7, 6, 6. Right? Where am I missing? I'm missing someone. Who? Can't. Oh, it's 2 10Ks. I apologize. 2 10K golfers, a 7, a 7. Okay, so 2 10Ks, 2 7Ks, and 2 6Ks. Easy, right? Jeez. That was your optimal. And it scored 765 points. Your GPP winner used 1 10K golfer, a 9K golfer, 7, 7, 7, 7. So 4 7K golfers to go with a 10 and a 9. That scored 718 points. So 718 for the GPP winner, 765 for the optimal. Your sweet spot optimal left $300 on the table, and it started with a Scotty Scheffler at 11,000, then Ricky Fowler at 9K, and then we had 3 7s and 1 6. Again, leaving $300 on the table, and just has to score over 718, which has scored 744. So it just obliterated the GPP winning lineup. So yeah, if you followed the Sweet Spot process last week, you're 100%, like it was 100% successful. So maybe that gives you some confidence heading into this week. Who knows?